a serious question. He goes, "Do you ever watch film?" And I said, "No, I don't. I just run by guys. If I'm feeling good, I'm feeling good." So I don't know how to answer that, Eli. I don't watch film, but I do watch film when the team is showing it. So, and every once in a while I watch games like right now and study them, but
Rob Gronkowski right there from the Manning cast on Monday Night Football saying, no, I don't watch film. I'm either better than the guys or I'm not. And I just go to Tom and I say, Tom, what are they doing this week and what do I do? And Tom tells me what to do and then I do it. Sometimes it's exactly what it seems like in the NFL. No doubt about it. This is Interesting to See, your daily sports podcast about news, narratives, takes, and gambling. I apologize for some tardiness today. Got a new computer, and for some reason my webcam will autofocus on the video, so there's no video today, just a podcast. I will get it hammered out for my 5 subscribers. I understand that all of you are going to be waiting with bated breath to see my beautiful face. Coming up today, we're just going to review some football and discuss some things going on in the world of sports. I'm going to start today with hockey, and there go the remaining listeners. So there's a story I've been following in hockey that I find kind of interesting, and one of my big criticisms of the NHL is that the thing that makes it great is the thing that makes it a problem, which is that they love the game so much, the players do and the fans do, that they're often vulnerable and weak when it comes to the business side of hockey, and I think that deters people from wanting to play. The more money that is in the sport, the better. The more money the players make, the better TV deals, the better. The savagery of the NBA and the NHL is good for everybody. Spread the money around. So this guy, Kirill Kaprizov, was drafted in the 5th round back in 2015. It took a long time for him to come to the NHL. Of course, when you're drafted in the NHL, you're drafted at the age of 18 or 19 by rule. Some people at 20, some people at 17, but like in that range, you can't be drafted at 21. You're just a free agent. So Kaprizov just signed a mega deal, 5 years, $45 million, and he did that after only playing 59 games in the NHL last year, but he's had a lot of KHL experience, and his agent played hardball. He went and flirted with a bunch of KHL, which is the Continental Hockey League that is like 80% Russian, 20% former Soviet Union, well, and 1% China. There's a Chinese team in there too. Maybe there's a Finnish team, but mostly it's Russia and the former Soviet Union. He went and flirted with them. He suspected like, hey, they're going to offer him, millions and millions of dollars. He had a backup deal ready this week to go to SKA Moscow, which is the best team in the KHL. And SKA Moscow could probably compete with some NHL teams on a daily basis. Like that's the best team in the KHL. They were going to give him 1 year, $10 million. Well, this played itself out. Obviously, his annual value is just under $10 million for the Wild. He played hardball, and I think that's a good thing for the game of hockey, for the sport of hockey. I think it's a good thing that the KHL can be used as leverage, or maybe players can play over there. Like for the growth of the game and the growth of the sport, this is good. It's also good that he's playing in Minnesota. So that's the kind of thing that hasn't happened a lot in the NHL. Guys just are often too willing to take whatever's on the table because they think that, this is good enough. This is what I'm offered. This is what makes sense. And now you need to ask for more if you think you're worth it. That's drive up prices. A lot of these owners, they don't just own hockey teams. They own a lot of other stuff, and they can absolutely afford it. For example, the Detroit Red Wings, the owner owns Little Caesars Pizza, and the Detroit Tigers, they're printing money. They're spending a little bit more than they're making, but they're printing money. All right, let's move on. The Manning cast did a much better job of getting some ratings, so all of the hype. Oh my God.
And more.
Jesus Christ. That's what happens when you get a new computer. Oh, all my settings are gone. Listen, Pro Football Talk, mute. No, I don't want notifications. All right, Manning cast. We're talking about the Manning cast. Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. They're on a Zoom call. They're watching Monday Night Football. It's basically just Twitch. A lot of journalists were just talking about how great it is, which shows me two things. A, Monday Night Football. By the time Monday Night Football rolls around, this is true for me as a football guy. By the time Monday Night Football rolls around, you're just done. Like, I don't care. Unless it's my team, which I cared a lot this week because it was my team. But you're just done. The other thing that it points out is that the Monday Night booth is trash. Steve Levy, Louis Riddick, and Brian Greasy, Brian Greasy in the booth, it's just garbage. And the third thing is that they're really good at this. A lot of people, one of the big things about the Monday Night Football Manning cast is that people are learning a lot about the game of football. And they're just watching how excited Peyton gets to watch film and how Eli was actually pretty good. It's a lot of fun to learn about football. So with all of the social media hype that happened after week one, it more than doubled its audience, according to the Sports Business Journal, who's all over this kind of stuff. Just over 800,000 average viewers for the Week 1 broadcast, which had admittedly much better and more interesting teams than the Raiders and the Ravens. Week 2, there was some Aaron Rodgers drama, but it was Lions-Packers. Should not have been that big of a deal. It $1.86 million for the Manning cast. ESPN right now has suspiciously not released the ESPN Monday Night Football ratings, and so I think what we're going to see is that where people went and why they went there. At the end of the day, as a football fan, there's no question that both broadcasts need to exist. For me, this is my take, and I'm going to stand, I'll die on this hill. For the most part, both things need to exist because I'm a fan of the Detroit Lions. Like, I don't want to hear Peyton interview Gronk. Like, God, I don't care about that during my game. But if I was watching teams I didn't care about, yeah, that'd be interesting. That's why I like Twitch. You watch chess on Twitch. You watch video games on Twitch. It's fun. If you care and put stock in the people that are doing it, it's fun. But if you try to cover the sport, if you're trying to watch the sport, both need to exist. There needs to be a basic level. What this is going to do, though, is take money out of the pockets out of the talent, though. That's going to happen. And that should happen. You can't be trash and be rewarded. And for so long in sports broadcasting, you could be trash and didn't matter. As long as you had the job, it did not matter. All right, we have a couple Ole Miss, my alma mater, in the news all over the place this week. A couple things interesting that happened. Let's get to the first newsy item, and then we'll talk about how cool Lane Kiffin is. So name, image, and likeness is happening in sports now. Various people have various endorsement deals. Like, I am a big proponent of that. I don't think it is ethical at all, even regardless of the legality, which is not legal anymore. I don't think it's ethical to restrict someone's individual rights to exist. And if you wanted to work at an ice cream shop and be a professional, little Freudian slip there, a college football player, I don't think the NCAA, it's any of their business if you need to have a side job or whatever. But this is according to the Daily Journal, which is a Tupelo newspaper. Every player for the Ole Miss football team has been offered an endorsement contract with the Tupelo-based jeans company, Blue Delta Jeans. And now I know what Blue Delta Jeans are, and they are, so get this, they are custom jeans. This is a designer jean company from Tupelo, Mississippi. They cost $400 to $500 a pair. All the players need to promote it, and I think that they're going to do the thing where they all show up in the jeans to a game, going to work. The jeans are designer jeans, but they're also work jeans. Like, they're really good jeans, apparently. I have no idea. So this is an interesting situation to see because Ole Miss was not singled out despite having who is rapidly becoming the most famous player in college football, Matt Corral. He just became the unanimous favorite to win the Heisman on all Vegas sports books after starting the season around 10th. It would have been really easy to just go to Matt Corral, who's going to be starting on Sundays, in 50 weeks. But they went to the whole team. So we'll see how this goes. There's a lot of different stuff that people are worried about. Making money. Are you making more money than you're worth? Balancing that money when you're 18. Other people don't do such a good job of it necessarily in every sport. You make enough money to have a lot more money than a college kid should, but not enough to have an agent to tell you when you're being an idiot. And does it create problems in the locker room? Like, a lot of different stuff that we don't know. But this is the second instance of this that I know of. I'm sure there's more. BYU had a program that offered to just essentially all of the walk-ons are now scholarship players. They're paying their way through college, which I thought that's great advertising. So we're going to find out about this name, image, likeness stuff. I found that story interesting because they had an opportunity in a very small market to pay by far the most famous player in the state and one of the 2 or 3 most famous players in all of college football, perhaps the best player in college football for the quarterback position, and they chose to pay the team, which is really interesting. Okay, if you were worried about Aaron Jones' dad's ashes forever being in Lambeau Field, they found him. That's a little update, but let's go back to some Ole Miss news. Lane Kiffin, he only follows one person on Instagram. Do you see this? People figured this out. First of all, the real tragedy is that Lane Kiffin only has 9,000 followers on Instagram. People, get your heads out. Go follow Lane Kiffin. The only person he follows is superstar sophomore quarterback in high school, Arch Manning, who he's recruiting, obviously, which we all find hilarious. I would hope. Okay, so there's going to be a debate in the baseball world this week. Can't wait for John Boy Media to do a thing about it. So there's this play at the plate, and if we were doing YouTube, I would show you. Maybe I'll make a video about it later if I figure out my $200 camera. This guy for the Rays is rounding second. He's coming home. He's trying to beat the throw from right field, and the Blue Jays player gets him out. There's a collision with the catcher, and this is not a collision conversation. In the catcher's back pocket is his play card. So he has the different plays and the scouting report and the signs. It falls out of his back pocket and is just sitting there on the ground, and the catcher because it was the third out of the inning, just starts jogging to the dugout. The Rays guy, and it's a very clear video, the Rays guy just sees it, or it falls out of his wristband. I don't know where it falls out of. It falls on the ground. The Rays guy sees it, and he's like, what is that? Holy shit. He looks around. He picks it up and goes to the dugout. I think it's fair. If you need to write your plays down on a wristband and it falls out, that's fair game, bro. That's how I feel. But you'll need to be prepared for that conversation because it is absolutely on the way. Andy Dalton watch. We are on day 3 of Andy Dalton watch. So far, he's still hurt, but he's going to be the starter as long as he's healthy. Another clip you might see going around the internet today. Conor McGregor attempted to throw out the first pitch at some baseball game for the Cubs, and it was just a bit outside. I'm starting to think more and more that guy would get his ass kicked by a real athlete. Oh, I said it, meant it. That's interesting to see. Hopefully we'll get my camera figured out tomorrow and, take a little bit more time to prepare for an episode. But, it is what it is. First day of fall for all of us. Like, rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. Really appreciate it. Back and better than ever to preview Thursday Night Football.